Healing and breakthrough is coming. The Lord has a plan for your life and expected in. And while you're going through something, tell all your hurt, pain, misery, and strife. A brand new season. Behold, see what I will do. It shall be a blessing springing forth and made light in you. Shall you not know it? Shall you not see? All that you've been looking for, have if only you'd believe. Only just believe. A brand new season, a brand new day, a new you, a new.
Hello, and welcome to the ANEW TV show. I am your host, Ivy Caldwell, and today my special guest is Thalisa Moore. She was born in Chicago, Illinois, and raised in Kansas City. Thalisa was in the travel and hospitality industry for over 30 years before transitioning to a life coach. Thalisa has an associate's in tourism and hospitality management from National American University, Rapid City, SDBS in Organizational Leadership and Management from Friends University, Overland Park, Kansas. Domestic Violence Certification, Wellness Coach Certification, and Diversity Training Certification. She is a certified Master Life Coach through Transformation Academy, CEO of Elevate Up 365 LLC. Author of the book, The Flight of Your Life, a guide to overcoming domestic abuse. She has a heart for helping hurting women, and as a domestic violence survivor and educator, she understands their pain and suffering. Thalisa encourages women through Sisters Helping Others Progress, or SHOP. She teaches a Restoring Hope class at Gateway of Hope. Gateway of Hope is a nonprofit women's mental health counseling center that offers counseling, group support, and coaching. Thalisa received the recognition of the Gateway of Hope 2020 Volunteer of the Year Award recipient. And Thalisa enjoys spending time with her family. Thalisa, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Ivy, and hello, everyone.
I am glad to have you here to discuss your latest project with our audience. And it is entitled Transitioning to the Other Side, Volume 3, How to Cope with the Loss of Life. So my first question for you, Thalisa, is what made you want to be a part of this collaboration?
Well, although it's been a few years since I lost my dad, I just still thought that this was uh, like a healing and recovery stage.
All right. Amen. Amen.
Mhm.
I am glad to be a part of that. I am amazed at how, when the authors come aboard to be a part of the different volumes, how they say they needed it. They needed another level of healing to go through that grieving process. So, amen to that.
And I wanted to help somebody else,
Yes.
encourage them.
Amen. Yes. All right. Can you take us back to the day your father received his diagnosis from the doctors? What did the doctors say, and how did you handle that?
That was a very, very sad day. I remember that vividly, although it was many years ago. The doctors said that my dad would have a good 2 to 3 years to live.
Mm,
And that just took the life out of me as
mm,
well as my mom, and because we were the ones that was present when the doctor gave the diagnosis to my dad.
Yeah.
And we were trying to be strong for him, but I don't think we handled it too well, though.
Mm. Yeah. I can't imagine getting that diagnosis. When we hear the word, that C word, it's like automatically we think this is it. It's like it's over. But
Yeah, because
God,
we was just at a routine doctor visit.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But God intervened though on his behalf, right? So how long did your dad live after his diagnosis?
16, 16 and a half years.
Wow.
He lived with
Oh,
cancer.
he lived with cancer. Although the
Yes.
doctor said 2 to 3 years, God said no, 16 and a half more years. I'm reminded of a story in the Bible where Hezekiah got the report from the prophet, told him to get his house in order because he was getting ready to die. And Hezekiah
Mhm.
turned his face to the wall and cried out to God. And then God told the prophet to go back. I changed my mind. Tell him some years are going to be added to his life. So it just takes me back to that story
Yes,
that,
it does. Right.
yeah, regardless of what the doctors say, all right, we've got to believe the report of the Lord. You know, if we seek God, He will change His mind. He will heal. He will restore our health.
Yes, he will. Mhm.
Your dad said something very profound after he received his diagnosis. And what were his words? You remember what his words were?
But God has the final say so.
There you go. God has the final say so. To me, that was like a point of faith.
Hmm.
He spoke that in the atmosphere, like, all right, God, I'm depending on you. God has the final say. And
Yes,
God let
yes.
him live another 16 and a half years. Wow.
And it was good years. And even though they said he was in the final stages of cancer, you couldn't tell until just like the
Mhm.
very end.
Yeah.
He went through the chemo, he went through the radiation. I mean, every treatment you name it, he went through it.
Yeah. God
And
is
I
a
know he was
keeper.
tired. Hmm.
Yeah. God is a keeper. Can you share a couple of memories with the audience that have made impacts on your life? Something that dad told his daughter.
One of the things that my dad told me was know how to take care of myself
Mm,
without depending on anybody else.
yeah.
And another thing that he always shared with me too is to live, not to live above your means.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Live within a where you can be comfortable and you don't have to work all day and all night
Yeah.
to
That's
maintain a good life.
yeah. That's some good advice. Thinking about living above your means, or in other words, trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Wow. That is some good advice. Um, How does one know that they are healed when they are writing their story or sharing their story?
I think you know when you're healed because you can talk about it without so much breaking down
Yeah.
and getting through it. You can encourage others because when it first happened or the first diagnosis, I wouldn't want to encourage anybody.
Mm,
So it took time, it took years, and it took just time and healing and being accepting of it.
yeah.
Like, okay, I have nothing to be sad about. God has given
Mhm.
us 16 years.
Yeah.
And so just try to treasure those good memories.
Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. Wow. Treasure the time that we have left. You know, I think about my mom and how when she came to stay with me that and how her health started deteriorating. It's like 32 days she was gone. So it's like
Mhm.
we have to cherish our loved ones because we don't
Yes, we do.
know when we will breathe our last breath on this side.
That's correct. We don't know.
Take
And
that
it's so
time.
important. to
Yeah.
cherish those relationships.
Yes. Take that time and make that time. There was something else that your dad believed in. He believed in family, right?
Oh,
Those
yes.
family reunions.
Well,
And-
yes.
yes, and you had just started a new job, and you were telling your dad, "Dad, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. I gotta work." What did your dad tell you to do?
Well, it was my very, very first job. And
Mm,
so I told my dad when we always went to the family reunions, and it's always Labor Day weekend. So you know when it is every year. So, me thinking I'm, getting a little grown, I said, well, I'm not going to be able to go because I can't get off work.
mm-hmm.
And so my dad said, well, you go back and tell your job that you're going to quit if you don't get off. So I didn't
Wow.
want to quit the job. And I was thinking, like, well, he's really serious about this family reunion thing, this family thing. So I went back to my job and they said, "Okay, we can work with you on your schedule." So he said, I told you that to teach you a lesson that you need to plan ahead, learn to plan ahead.
Oh, wow.
And you learn to plan ahead and plan around things that's important to you in your life and your well-being.
Wow.
Your family's going to always be there for you.
Oh, yeah, that's most definite. Friends come and friends go, but
Yes, they do.
family will always be there.
Yes.
Yes, they will. Your dad was a funeral director. It takes a special type of person to do that type of work. What other businesses did your dad have? Because in your chapter, you say he was an entrepreneur.
Yes, he also had he and my mom, they had a cleaning company, and they did that for years. And
Mm.
then he also was a bail bondsman.
Oh,
So he
wow.
kind of did a little variety. Then he also had a corporate job before that, where he was a locomotive engineer.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Mhm.
A multiple entrepreneur. Wow. That is exciting and something to be proud of, to know about your dad. Is there something on your mind that you would like to share with the audience about grieving?
Grieving is something that there's no time limit.
Mm,
There's no time limit as to how long one should grieve.
yeah.
And when the funeral service is over, the phone calls and things, they stop, but they don't come in as frequently, but you're still grieving.
Hmm.
And it can be years and years of just that grief and just carrying it. And where some people might say, oh, well, you should be over within this time frame. I don't think grief has an expiration date on it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, those thoughts never go away of your loved ones. I mean, and
Yeah,
even the
never.
emotions can come flooding back
Hmm.
because you miss them. You miss
Yes,
their presence.
yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Miss them dearly.
Mm, mm. The end of your chapter, you have, I miss my grandparents too. They have been gone for over 25 years. My grandmother kept me as a child. I never went to a daycare or after school program. I did not know how blessed I was to be in my grandparents' company until we meet again, live and let live. That was
Yes.
the
Mhm.
name of your chapter. Those are some words that your dad said, to live and let live. Sounds like, in other
Yes.
words, leave people alone and let
Yes.
them live
Yes.
their lives.
Right. Mind your own business. Yes.
Amen. Mind your own business. All right. I agree with that one. Um, so you do have another book out entitled The Flight of Your Life. Tell us about that.
The Flight of Your Life is a book about overcoming domestic violence. It's about several years ago I was involved in domestic abuse situation, and which almost lost my life in those
Mm.
relationships. And this was my way of giving back to help other ladies to overcome domestic abuse because
Yeah.
my life was turned upside down.
Mm.
And so I wanted to help other women.
Yeah.
I hid my story for a long time. I
Yeah.
sat on it, sat on it, sat on it. And then it was God that was giving me the nudge that you need to share it.
Yeah.
You need to share it to help somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't you share it? What were your feelings about that?
Because it was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
It was embarrassing and knowing that it could happen to anybody. But it was just something that I thought I could just, get over it in silence
Mm-hmm.
and just tuck it away. But that's not what God said.
Mm.
God said, share it. So I start talking about it, helping other women. And I never planned to write a book about it, but
Mm-hmm.
then it ended up writing a book about it.
Yeah.
And it has blessed so many other women.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Yes, God will definitely let you know if He wants you to share your story or write a book. I can concur on that one. So, what would your message of hope be to someone who is grieving right now?
I would tell them, although the load may feel heavy right now, as the days go by, the years time go by, it will get easier.
Yeah.
You'll learn how to be able to deal with it and cope with it better than when it first happened.
Yeah. Do you think
Just
it's
keep
good?
keep praying,
Hmm.
get a good support group, very well needed.
Yes. Do you think it's good to isolate yourself when you're grieving?
I don't think it is. I think maybe at first
Hmm.
it depends on really the person
Okay.
because sometimes you just need some time to just deal with it and
Mm.
just be in silence
Yeah.
without all the company and the phone calls and the texts. And so sometimes you just need time to just quiet your spirit.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's good to have support
Yeah. Yeah.
because you don't want to slip into depression.
Hmm. Yeah. In that long time, it's like you're letting reality set in now.
Hmm.
It's like you know they were gone, but like now it's like they're really gone. I mean, it
Right,
just
right.
sets in and then it can hit you at that
Hmm.
moment, and then you can begin to grieve all over it. Just as you said, it does take years sometimes to go through that grieving process.
Hmm.
Yes, it
Yes.
does. Um, do you have any projects in the works? What's up next for you?
Well, what's next for me? I'm going to be working on some children books,
All right.
doing some podcast interviews, and going back to coaching and teaching.
All right. Sounds good. And speaking events, right?
And speaking events.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. And then you do workshops as well. Wait a minute, you do got something coming up at what, October, right?
Yes, that's my Girls and Giggles.
Yes.
Girls and Giggles is what I thought was going to be a one time, just have an event, just encourage young girls, just encourage, get girls together so they can be encouraged, inspired, and laugh and giggle as girls in
Mhm.
a comforting, protected environment.
Yes.
But they end up enjoying it so much till I think it's going to be an annual event now.
All right.
So we just had one in April and we had a tea party.
All right.
So all the girls came dressed up in their little hats and gloves and we had a tea party.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. As little girls should be. They should be able to laugh and giggle and not worry about the pressures of life. Because
Yes.
our children grow up too fast.
Yes, they do. Mhm.
Yes. Um,
And they have to encounter so much in life.
yes, they do. They absolutely do. How can our guests get in touch with you?
They can reach me on social media. They can reach me on Facebook under Thalisa Moore. They can reach me on LinkedIn
Mm.
under Thalisa Moore. Then they can also email me at Thalisa at elevateup365.com.
All right, all right. And if you want to get a copy of Transitioning to the Other Side, Volume 3, you can reach out to Thalisa and get your copy. And she will be glad to get it shipped out to you. Any parting
Absolutely.
words? Yes, any parting words for our audience?
Yes, just want to tell those that's going through grief, just stay encouraged. Just
Mm.
stay encouraged. Keep praying. It does get easier.
Yeah,
And you don't have to go through it alone.
yeah. In time. Find if you don't really have like family, it would be good to find yourself a support group. All right.
Support group or church or supporting network.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Surround yourself with people. Yes. So you don't feel so alone because you are not alone. All right. So, and as Thalisa did say, we all grieve differently, and there is no timeline on your grief. But you don't want to be depressed, though. If you ever feel yourself being depressed, where you don't want to go anywhere, do anything, you're sitting in a dark room, that's a warning right there. It's time to reach out and get some help.
Get some help.
Lisa, when you hear these 4 words, what comes to mind? And I will repeat them if need be. Refined, refreshed, renewed, and restored.
Refined to me means to me it reminds me of like sugar, refined sugar, as
Mm,
being something that's formulated. Um, that's what refined means to me, and we can use that on our path of life
mhm,
as well as a life and
mm.
transition to the other side.
Yeah.
Refresh to me is a new outlook,
Mhm.
a new beginning.
Yeah.
And the
Amen.
third one you said was, I believe, was renewed.
Renewed. Hmm.
Renewed. Out with the old and in with the new.
Yes.
That's what I think of when something's being renewed,
Yes.
refurbish,
Yes, ma'am. And the last one is restored.
restored. Restored me for me to just start over again.
Mm. Yeah. And God will do that.
Create something new.
Yeah. God will restore us
Yes, he
to
will.
be able to start all over again. He
Mhm.
will redeem the time. Thank you, Thalisa.
It's been a pleasure, Miss Ivy.
Well, Thalisa, I have enjoyed our conversation, getting to know you even more, because we do stay in touch. Thalisa and I are friends, all right? We met in 2020 during the
Yes,
pandemic on a webinar about writing a book. She has written her book, I've written my book, and we have continued to fellowship and connect with one another throughout the last 3 years. And we have just grown to love and care for one
yes.
another.
It's become a beautiful sisterhood.
Yes, yes, it's just amazing. You never know what God is going to do. So don't be afraid to step out of the box or get out of the boat. All right.
Right. And
'Cause
reach out to other people. You never know where it goes.
that's right. You never know. All right. And to my audience, always remember you can become a new you, but you must do the work. Until next time, bye bye.
Behold, see what I will do. It shall be a blessing springing forth in May, light in you. Shall you not know it? Shall you not see all that you've been